on, everybody? My name is Rashid Coleman, and I'm going to be hosting a series for you today called goneMAAD, which is going to be centered around mental health, anxiety, and depression. It is an issue that affects over 40 million Americans 18 years of age or older, as well as 350 million people worldwide. I know when I was a child, this was an issue that never came up. I didn't even know about anxiety or depression until I experienced it myself. So I'm hoping to utilize this space as an opportunity to share my story and invite as many other people as I can to share their story as well. Stay tuned, and I hope this will inspire you to share your story as well. Alright, so this project stemmed from me being at the University of Pennsylvania a little while ago and listening to, it was a women's summit, and we were showing our documentary there, and I was listening to some of the women that were speaking on the panel, and they kept talking about how they dealt with anxiety and depression in the workplace and in their lives in general. And as I began to think about it, I began to think about my experiences with my friends, my family, and how all of us were kind of going through this period of time where we really needed help. Mental health, anxiety, depression is a major issue that really doesn't get discussed a lot because it's seen as taboo in our communities. And I really just wanted to shed some light on this and really share my story first, and hopefully invite others to do the same. By just letting them know that it is okay and that you're not the only person going through what you're going through, that it's a community of us out there. And maybe that if we talk about these issues more, even in the school setting, this is something that can be dealt with on a larger scale, especially for as being a black man. We're supposed to be strong. Black women are supposed to be strong. We really have no opportunity to be vulnerable and let ourselves be heard in this setting. And it's unfortunate because as we're coming up, as we approach that 30-year-old marker, it seems as though we feel like we need to have everything together, that our life is supposed to be perfect, that we're already supposed to be making a certain amount of money. And because of that, we allow that to kind of hinder us in our own personal growth for achieving whatever it is we set out to, because we feel like we need to have it right. We feel like we have to get it right all the time. And because of that, and because of the notion that we have to be strong men, we have to be strong women, a lot of times we don't seek help. So we feel like we're lost, we feel like we're alone. And I really feel like this is going to be a space and a setting where people will understand that it doesn't matter about any of that. It's really about just being whole and being your best self. It honestly really started as I started to dig back. It really started when I graduated college. I remember sitting on the phone with my mom. My lease wasn't up until August. And I was living, out in Western Pennsylvania where I attended college. And we were on the phone, and she was just like, "She, what are you gonna do?" And I really sat there and was just like, "I don't know." And the thing that she said to me was that she was like, "You were the one child I thought would have it all figured out." And I was just like, wow, I really began to sit back and think like, I did well in school. On the outside looking in, I had everything together, but I was so messed up on the inside because there was just so much pressure for me to kind of be perfect. And because of that, it really affected me. And then long term, as I moved forward in my life, I really began to let those things kind of bog me down in a sense. I went back to school for my master's. Again, another attempt to kind of find my own way. And in that, I really started experiencing some dark times where I couldn't sleep at night. I wasn't eating. I didn't want to be social, and that's not even my personality. Anyone who knows me knows I like to be out. I'm outgoing. I like to talk. I like to have a good time. But I really hit a point where I kind of felt like I was hitting rock bottom, right, where I didn't really know where I wanted to go in my life. And there was honestly times where I would be driving home, and I'm just like, if I have to live like this, then what's the point? I was just kind of at my wit's end, and I was just searching for any means necessary to kind of make me feel whole, whether that was going out and partying, whether that was, women, unfortunately. I was trying to use anything I could to really find peace. And in that, all I found was just more and more darkness. It took until I had a conversation with someone who had been through it themselves that really understood what I was going through when I was up, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning trying to function at work the next day, that I really, realized what I was going through and what I needed to do to get better. The first thing I did was I had to get in contact with someone who could relate to what I was going through. For me, I was just fortunate enough that my grandma had experienced something similar. And I would literally call her, and I would just pour out to her everything that was going on. And she finally told me that this was something that she had been dealing with for like the last 10 or 15 years. I had no idea in the world that she was experiencing these things because, again, she was able to hold everything internally and really just move on through her daily life without letting it affect her on her outward. But inwardly, she was really struggling, so much so that she, went and saw a therapist. She went and got help, and that really helped her. For me, as a result of being able to use her as an outlet, I was able to kind of find my own way by using other means. So I started reading more. I started, using positive affirmations. I started just kind of really change my mode of thinking. I was always told, like, as a man thinketh, so shall he become. And I really started to make that a part of my daily life. And I would just wake up each day and just look at all the things that I wanted to do and all the things that I wanted to, come out of me. And I started to make that, my daily approach to life. Really, it was when I had the notion and I thought, like, wow, I feel like I was just losing it all. I couldn't focus on anything. I really honestly would sit down like, am I going crazy? And after I got to that point, I just realized, all right, you need to take a deeper look at this. Like, this is not just a normal go pray about it. Because that's what everybody would tell me, like, go home, pray about it, give it to God, or, whatever you believe in. But for me, that wasn't enough. I was like, I need something else. It's not just prayer in this instance. This is actually something that is wrong, So I don't know I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the technical term for, any of this is, but for me, I just knew something wasn't right. And I knew, just in my spirit, things had gone awry somewhere. So I really started to look back and dig, I started writing and journaling so much more. And after I would journal, I would go back and read what I had wrote for the week, and I kind of started to identify key points, key triggers. It was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm not happy about. How can I change that? And then I just kind of took it day by day to work at each of those issues. I would say that for me, journaling is that was the biggest help for me. Because like I said, you could really pull out those key points as to like what you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. Outside of that, like, I really started to go through meditation. I would really just sit in silence and just really think about what I was experiencing. I started questioning, why do you feel this way? What is it that's making you feel this way? I would take walks. I would really just do anything I could to just spend time alone and just, be open to whatever it was that I was feeling. Especially in our day and age now, in our communities, that's something that is unheard of. Like, men don't necessarily show their emotions a lot because you're seen as weak or you're seen as soft, or, there's all these walls that we have built up that we're guarded behind because coming up, even in mass media, we don't see men showing emotion. The only time people show emotion is when someone passes away or someone gets killed. And I feel like that's something that needs to be addressed. We need more safe spaces like this where we can come out and actually show that it's okay to feel the way you're feeling. It's okay for you to need to open up to somebody, because all that does is, when you're that angry or you're that upset, the first thing that triggers you just snap. I remember my last relationship, I started really feeling like, I actually just read some of my own journal entries the other day, and I was looking at, is this control that I'm feeling, or is it just the uneasiness in my relationship? And I realized it was a bit of both, but it was due to the fact that I was unhappy. That I wasn't happy with where I was, with what I was doing. I thought I was gonna be further along, and I feel like as a result of me thinking I had to have it all together, that I couldn't make any mistakes, I had to be perfect, that really took a toll on me. And it led to the ending of that, amongst other reasons, but that was definitely a key component where I wanted control over everything so bad that it almost drove me, insane. All right, so thank you so much for your time. I really hope that you were able to gain something from this, and that it is something that we can carry on moving forward. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure you send it to a friend. You can follow me on Instagram at Rashid Marcel, RASHIDMARCELL. Follow me on Twitter, same name. Facebook, share this with all your friends and family. Send it out via email. Put it on Pinterest. Whatever you can do to get this message out. I really want this to be something that is heard, and that we move forward on this. So coming soon, we'll have more and more people come down that'll sit down with me, and we'll talk about the ways that they dealt with these issues, the strategies they used to overcome these things, as well as some of the actual issues that they went through. Because it's not just anxiety and depression. There's a whole slate of mental health issues that don't get discussed today because they're seen as taboo topics. And I really want this to be a safe space for everyone to come together, share ideas, share strategies, and let's all just become whole individuals.